So we want our podcast to sound as good as possible. One thing about this podcast template is that there's already some effects that have been added to the tracks. And some of these are not actually making things sound better, but in my opinion, a little bit worse, especially with the host's voice. You can see if I click and drag this down, the effects are revealed here. This speech volume level effect has been applied. And what it's doing is trying to sort of regulate the levels or the volume of the sound. And when I'm not talking and it's just the sound of the room, it's bumping those levels up and making it sound really noisy. So what I'm going to do is take that effect off. I can either just click here to toggle it off, or better yet, click on the drop-down menu and click Remove Effect. There is a little click there that I wasn't intending, so I'm just going to trim that back, and then it'll start nicely. Okay, one of the last things that we're going to do to make this sound great is to focus on the volume of each of the individual tracks, the clips on the tracks, and then the overall mix. So let's start with the host's voice. Let's solo this for now, and I'm just going to go back to the zoom out full. And when we play this back, we want to watch the level meters in the bottom, and ideally see these average between -12 and -6.
You're listening to Pracademic.
So mine are a little bit high on this first clip. What I can do to fix that is just go to this yellow line across, and you can see even it says volume, and just literally click and drag that down a bit. And I can do this in real time while I'm playing, and keep an eye on the level meters to do the adjustment.
You're listening to Pracademic.
There, that's looking a little better. Now, I recorded these all in a similar way, so there's a good chance that all my clips on this track need to be adjusted to the same level, but just to be safe, I can go through that and do the same thing for each of them. Okay, so I've quickly gone through and adjusted the volume for all of my clips on the host track. Now, that's for each of these clips, but within a specific clip, you might also find that just for a moment you got louder or you got quieter, either because of the emotions you were expressing, or maybe you changed your position in terms of how close or how far you got from the computer. So you can see this right in the waveforms. Here, for example, the waveform went up a little higher, and here we've got some that are a little lower. So you can also go in and adjust the volume very closely on a waveform by zooming in and then clicking on this yellow line to create a keyframe around the waveform that you want to adjust. And if you make, say, 4 of them, then you can drag these ones down to just bring the volume down around that particular sound. Once you've gone through and adjusted the volume for each of the clips on each of your tracks, you're ready to now adjust the overall sound mix, which means the balance between the different elements of voice, sound effects, and music. And the best place to do this is in the mixer view. So when we play this back and we go into the mixer view, we can see the levels of each of the individual tracks and adjust them accordingly. What I'm doing is starting in this window, clicking to the mixer window, and then pressing the spacebar to play. Music.
You're listening to Pracademic, a podcast that straddles the worlds of academic research and education,
Sound effects,
the art of podcasting, and good plain fun.
Okay, and I've also got my master mix over here on the right. This will be the level that my final sound file will come out as. So let's just keep watching.
My name's Sarah Van Borick, and I'm a Pracademic.
Perfect. Once you've gone through and adjusted the volume for each of your clips and each of your tracks, another thing you can do that's pretty simple that makes it sound a lot better is some simple fades on the beginning and ends of clips. Let's go to the very beginning of my host track, and to fade this in, I just click on the clip, and then you'll see this gray square that pops up in the top left corner. We just click and drag that in. And you can see this yellow line that's curving. That's a fade in. And we can do the same thing on the end. Grab this gray square, click and drag it in to get a little fade out. I would recommend doing this on most of your clips just to smooth out the transitions.